All right, the first thing I want to say is thank you to everybody that subscribed. For those of you that don't know, I hit 500 subscribers last night. I went over 500 subscribers this morning, and I think that's extremely cool. And thank everybody that subscribed. And maybe if nothing else, it doesn't validate that what I'm saying is right, but it validates that what I'm saying is being heard, and I think that's all you can ask for. So what I've got in front of me is a video of ESPN First Take, formerly ESPN Cold Pizza, where Donny Moore and Ian Cummings come on and are confronted by TJ Houshmandzadeh about his ratings in Madden 2010, and I just want to play a few clips for you from that video and then make a couple general statements and then leave you to form your own opinions on this.
It all starts off, obviously, when they come into the league as a rookie. You know, we have all the combine reports, we have all of the scouting reports from those organizations, so we kick it off where they get drafted, and then from there, their player statistics and how they do on the field is going to determine their rating in Madden and the future versions of Madden.
Okay, so far I really don't have any problems with that. You know, they take the information they get from the combine and they use that to determine speed, acceleration, awareness, all that stuff, and then they allow the player to dictate where he goes. And that's exactly what happens in real life. You know, how you play on the field determines whether you stay in the league or not. So let's continue on to where they talk about some of the changes that they make and how those ratings do in fact change.
Something they're not happy about. So keeping that in mind, then, what are the chances that you would go back and change TJ or another player's rating after releasing the game?
Oh, we make changes all the time.
Well, as they're playing, right? It updates as they're playing as the season goes on.
Right, absolutely. I mean, it's all about, we have roster updates that almost happen every single week, and that's determined solely on the fact on their performance on the field.
Okay, so there again, you know, another good aspect of this is they're willing to change. They're willing to say, okay, a player can be an absolute stud in the combine and then fall flat on his face in the NFL, and vice versa, I think. And we've seen real-life instances of that where a player comes in and just is amazing in the combine and then really doesn't cut it for whatever reason in the NFL. You know, you think of a player like Matt Jones, who had an unbelievable combine day, but for some reason, mainly off the field, hasn't been able to correlate it to an actual solid NFL career. Vice versa, you look at a guy like Jeff Saturday, who actually went undrafted and yet has become an all-pro center for the Colts. So it's good to know that they're willing to take a proactive stance to it in the fact that they understand that the combine is the best way to generate a base for players, but then how the player plays in actual game day situations can override that in many cases. And in some cases, I think as we get further in, I'm going to say that I really do have a problem with some of the ratings that they use and some of the ways they go about getting those ratings and changing them. So let's go ahead and fast forward here to where TJ comes in and starts to talk about his issues with Donny and
they're right here. Go ahead,
Ian.
Tell Ian and Donny what you're thinking.
It's not right. Yeah, I heard everything they just said. They're not right. They're not telling the truth. If they are telling the truth, the information they're getting is wrong.
What did we get wrong? I guess that's the key one.
Yeah, TJ, what is
speed? There's 50 ratings that we got to get absolutely accurate. So you got to pinpoint which ones are wrong for us.
I mean, I'll be real. My overall rating is okay. It's fine. I wouldn't complain about that.
You're 10th, TJ, overall. You're 10th right now. But what are there's speed? There's so many other things like elusiveness. What are the ones that you're not happy with?
I probably dropped the least amount of balls in the league, close to it at the top every year. So my catch should be very high. My speed should be much. I mean, there's linebackers on the game faster than me.
Guys?
Okay, so there, TJ comes out and kind of defends himself, says, hey, you know, I'm a great possession receiver, and I don't drop a lot of passes, and by the way, there's linebackers in this game that are faster than I am. So let's skip to where you get their reaction, and Donny starts to talk about where some of these ratings come from and where the changes get kind of controlled with.
That for you. I mean, 4.61 combine, obviously that was years ago, so we won't hang on to you too long for that.
I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to cut you off right now.
Okay, go ahead. Shoot. I got some more stats for you.
Hey, 100% wrong. Bet your bank account that is not, that 4.61 combine, 100% wrong.
I don't know if you want my bank account, TJ.
hey, I can use everything that I can get.
But I'll go back to 2004. Your yards per catch has declined every single year since 2004, and you haven't had a 50-yard catch since 2004.
offense I'm in. I'm going to show you guys this year. It's the offense that I'm in.
Okay, so here TJ starts to kind of defend himself and say, hey, your combine numbers were wrong. The offense I'm in dictates a lot of the 50-yard catches I get that you say you're changing my rating with. The offense I played in dictates a lot of the yards per catch I had. I don't know if I necessarily believe that, but I do believe that the offense you play in definitely plays a large role in 50-yard plus touchdown receptions. And again, I don't see how those can be made into dictating speed when often one broken coverage, one missed tackle can turn, a 10-yard play into a 30, 40-yard play. So is that really a good barometer of how fast a player is? So let's fast forward a little bit here where Donny kind of contradicts himself in terms of where they get their information from what he said earlier.
Makes you that 91 overall.
Okay, now I want to go back to the combine 461. Who gave you that information?
We scour the internets for those types of information. That was honestly like 5 or 6 years ago. So.
Okay, so there you hear Donny say that they scour the internets for this information, and then we're gonna roll through to the end here and play the final clip.
Watch your number once things get underway and we see those numbers change. Thank you, though, for talking to the guys on EA Sports, from EA Sports. We appreciate it.
EA Sports, thank you, man. Tell them to get your information correct, man, because I did not even run at the combine, man. I just had to throw that to you, man.
Okay, so there at the end, you hear TJ finally say, I didn't even run at the combine, so I don't know where you got your information from. So some of the problems I have. First of all, today is the first Sunday of the NFL season this year, and I hopefully think that we've all drafted our fantasy teams. And to me, it's just not good to have one person in charge of all the ratings. And like I said, with fantasy football, I think we would all have different ways of rating players. We would all look at things differently, and a majority of us would rate players differently on a scale of just overall 1 to 10. So is it good to have one person in charge of ratings at Madden? I say no, especially given the fact that some of the videos I've made, some of the videos other people made, have proved that ratings tend to dictate a lot of what happens in this game, that AI does drive the animation, and that AI is ultimately based on ratings. So again, do you like having one person dictating speed of all NFL players, especially when you see that he comes out and says, hey, even though we've got all this information at our fingertips from the NFL, which includes, the same coaching and scouting film that NFL coaches and assistants use, and he's, self-admitting to scouring the internet. Is that what you want to pay your $60 for? Essentially, you could say that Donny Moore might have the most influential position at Madden when it comes down to how the game plays overall. And again, I also like to think that TJ Houshmandzadeh, while I understand his gripe, I think the problem is at the end where they say, we're willing to change that. And here's the things you need to do to change it. Go get, the highest yak in the league. Go catch a couple 50-yard plus touchdown, passes. Does that make him any faster? Absolutely not. TJ Houshmandzadeh is as fast as he will ever be 3-4 years ago. After 7 years in the league, you don't get any faster. You get slower. They should never change things like speed or agility in players because, quite frankly, players don't get faster or more agile. So some problems I really have in this video, I think this might have been them talking a little too much, maybe divulging a little bit too much information in the long run, because I think things like this get looked at constructively and you can really break down why there's problems in the game. Just want your guys' opinions on how you feel about one person ruling all the ratings in Madden, dictating all the ratings in Madden, and how you feel about their ability to go in and change them based on what some people might say are insignificant statistics and make players faster or slower based on that. So really look forward to your comments in this, and again, thank everybody that has subscribed and finally gotten me over 500 subscribers. I do appreciate it, and thank you for your time, and look forward to your comments on this video.